Welcome to your reading, loves. I am Laurel, Elder of the Silver Swords. So very nice to have you here. This is a timeless and general energy reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Your story begins in the high-walled city of the Hierophant. The air is thick with incense and the weight of how things have always been. For a long time, you sat in the pews, following the liturgy and nodding at the elders. But lately, you've noticed a flicker of the Seven of Swords, a shadow behind the altar. You've seen that the holy men are just men, and the sacred rules are often just convenient shortcuts for those in power. This wasn't a crisis of faith. It was a moment of spiritual sight. You realized the temple was a school you had finally outgrown. You stepped out of the cathedral and into the courtyard, where a chaotic brawl, the Five of Wands, was in full swing. Everyone was shouting for a piece of the old world's dying glory. But you did something that shocked them. You turned your back. In that reversed Five of Wands moment, you stopped fighting for a seat at a table that no longer fed you. And as you walked away, a strange thing happened. The crowd fell silent. They didn't see a quitter. They saw a leader. Your refusal to struggle became your Six of Wands, a victory parade you didn't even have to ask for. Seeking true clarity, you retreated to a hidden cave at the edge of the kingdom. To the world you were gone, resting in the silent Four of Swords. They thought you were finished, a flicker that had gone out. But in that darkness, something was brewing. You weren't just sleeping, you were incubating a sun. Deep within your marrow, the King of Wands was forging a new crown from the heat of your own ambition. You were transforming from a person who follows the light into a person who generates it. Now you stand at the cliffs of the Two of Wands, a globe in your hand and the vast, unknown ocean at your feet. You feel the pull of the horizon, yet your heart tugs back toward the city. This is your dilemma, the Six of Pentacles. You worry that by sailing away to build your own empire, you are abandoning those who still need your bread and your strength. But as you look at the scales in your hand, the truth hits you like the morning sun. You cannot feed a village with an empty granary. Your journey to the horizon isn't an escape, it's a mission. You are going ahead to find the gold, the spices, and the new maps, so that when you return, or when you send word back, the scales will never be empty again. Your expansion is the greatest act of charity you could ever perform. The king has woken up. The ships are ready, and the rules of the old city are nothing but dust in your wake. The moral of this story is that true authority is not granted by a title, but claimed through integrity. There is a massive difference between doing nothing and being still. The moral of the Four of Swords and King of Wands is that your greatest breakthroughs require a period of total invisibility. You cannot become the king while you are still performing for the peasants. You must be willing to be forgotten by the world, so that you can be remembered by your own soul. We often mistake playing small for humility. The moral of the Two of Wands and Six of Pentacles is that your growth is not a theft from those you love. It is an investment in them. By reaching for your own horizon, you create the resources, the wisdom, and the overflow that eventually feeds everyone else. To stay behind out of guilt is to leave the scale unbalanced. To go forward is to become the source of the balance. You were never meant to fit into the temple. You were meant to build the kingdom. Your dilemma is simply the birth pains of a leader who is learning that to lead others, you must first be brave enough to walk alone. Remember the silence. When the world gets loud again, and it will, never forget the power of the Four of Swords. Remember that your greatest ideas didn't come from the shouting matches or the crowded cathedrals, but from the quiet moments when you dared to be invisible. If you ever feel lost, go back to the stillness. That is where your King of Wands fire is refueled. Keep an eye on the old temple. You once thought those high walls were the world. Now you know they were just a stage. Use that discernment now. As you build your own systems, ensure they are built on the transparency you once craved. Check your scales, but don't drop your globe. You will always feel the tug of the Six of Pentacles, the desire to stay behind and take care of everyone. That is your beautiful heart speaking. But look at the Two of Wands in your other hand. The more of the world you see, the more of the world you can bring home to those you love. Celebrate the quiet win. You used to think victory looked like a bloody sword. Now you know it looks like a reversed Five of Wands, the moment you chose to walk away from a petty fight and found yourself standing on a pedestal of peace. Keep choosing that peace. It is the only thing the world cannot take from you. You are no longer a student of the rules. You are the architect of the horizon. Walk boldly, stay quiet when you must, and always, always trust the heat of your own vision.